Good afternoon, my YouTube viewers. It's Palestine here. Welcome to my channel. Basically, I haven't got a lot of time, but I wanted to make another video, and it's about the Lindsay Clancy case. One thing that I noticed that they're not really reporting in the news or on YouTube is the fact that Lindsay Clancy drank 5 times a week. So 5 days out of the week she was drinking. And that's one thing that I noticed hasn't been discussed. And I think that the reason why it hasn't been discussed is because drinking is a socially acceptable pastime, definitely in Western society. So if you go out to a restaurant, it's perfectly acceptable to have some alcohol with your meal. And then in the UK in particular, you can go to a pub and you can have a beer or a wine or something like that. And because alcohol is a perfectly acceptable pastime in the West, they're not talking about Lindsay Clancy's drinking habits. But the simple fact of the matter is that alcohol is a depressant. So Lindsay Clancy was going around to all these doctors. I think it was doctors and psychiatric nurses. And I think that it was about seven people or practitioners that she saw. And actually on the internet, they've got her witness statement, they've got her court documents on YouTube. And then I was just looking at it, not YouTube, on Google, because I was just looking at it a little bit because I wanted to know if there was anything else in the news about the Lindsay Clancy case. And I noticed that they've got her court documents in PDF. Some people are saying that Lindsay Clancy and her husband or ex-husband are taking these healthcare providers to court in a civil suit together, but I don't think that's the case. I think that it's a separate case. That's what I think, because in the court documents that I saw, it said that the plaintiff was Lindsay Clancy. And so if her husband had been making the civil suit with her, then I would think that the plaintiff would be Lindsay Clancy, and the name of her husband, I think it was Patrick Clancy. But I think that Lindsay Clancy is making the civil suit for herself, and I think Patrick Clancy is making the civil suit on behalf of his children, because his children were the ones who were very adversely affected by this. I didn't see the court documents for Patrick Clancy, but I did see the court documents for Lindsay Clancy. And the thing is that Pat Brown Profiler, she got a hold of the court documents for Lindsay Clancy and Patrick Clancy, and I think that they are separate lawsuits. So some people were saying that Patrick Clancy stood by Lindsay Clancy because they were suing these medical organizations together. But I think that Patrick Clancy didn't stand by Lindsay Clancy because he divorced her. If he was standing by her, he would not have divorced her. I had heard that he didn't visit her when she was in the hospital, and I think he probably was too horrified to visit her. But going back to this alcohol business, I haven't seen anything mentioned about her drinking habits. But she was drinking 5 days a week. But when she had her psychotic break and did what she did to the children, they did a tox screen on her, and they found psychiatric medication in her bloodstream, but it wasn't abnormal levels. It was within the prescribed range, and they didn't find any alcohol in her system. But alcohol is a depressant. So since she was drinking 5 days a week, alcohol very well could have triggered her depression. And so, I don't know, you know that you're not supposed to drink alcohol with psychiatric medication. I mean, I'm forced to take psychiatric medication, but nobody has come to me and said specifically to me not to drink alcohol with it. But I know just from past experience that you're not supposed to drink alcohol with psychiatric medication, or other medications for that matter. And I do know someone who I know he's in the mental health community, and I believe he has schizophrenia, but he hasn't actually told me his diagnosis. And if he has to take drugs, he's living in a care home, and he has to take psychiatric medication, and it is administered to him, I think, in the morning and the evening. And the thing is that he, if he drinks alcohol, then he has hallucinations, and his hallucinations are worse when he drinks alcohol. And I know that because somebody told me that, but I'm not going to say any particulars about his case just to protect his anonymity. And so when he drinks alcohol, he does have his hallucinations are worse. And so basically, nothing's been said about Lindsay Clancy's drinking, even though alcohol is a depressant. And if I was the defendants in this court case that Lindsay was initiating, I'd be pointing that out, that she was drinking. The drinking very well could have triggered the depression, along with the hormonal changes from having a baby. And she wasn't taking the medication the way it was prescribed, and she was drinking when she was taking the medication, because I don't know how they found out that she was drinking while she was on the medication, but I just saw it on Google that she was drinking 5 days a week. So this is how alcohol affects mental health drugs, and I got this on Google. It's dangerous and life-threatening. Alcohol depresses your central nervous system. Alcohol alters how the medication works. Alcohol mixed with sedatives and anti-anxiety drugs slows down the brain and body. Alcohol mixed with antidepressants causes a hypersensitive crisis. Alcohol mixed with antipsychotics increases fainting, low blood pressure, rapid heart rate, and seizures. Alcohol worsens mental health and can cancel the benefits of the medication. And you can get drunk faster if you're drinking with mental health medications. So it's already been reported in the news that Lindsay Clancy had as many as 13 mental health drugs over a period of about 12 weeks. Well, definitely no more than 4 months. And so I don't know if anybody told her not to drink when she was taking psychiatric medication, but because she was a mental health worker herself, she very well should have known not to drink. So I don't know. I mean, definitely alcohol is a depressant. And so if she had postnatal depression anyway, alcohol would have made it worse. And if she was drinking while she was taking these drugs, which according to Google, she was drinking 5 times a week, it would have made the drugs ineffective. The drugs would not have worked the way they were supposed to work. I mean, I am not a proponent of mental health drugs. I've had mental health drugs forced on me, but then again, I wasn't drinking while I was taking the mental health drugs. And the thing is that Lindsay Clancy was going out doctor shopping. I think that she approached as many as 7 medical professionals to get about her problem. And I wasn't doing any doctor shopping. I had mental health professionals forced on me, and I really would rather not have anything to do with them. But because the UK government tells me I'm mentally ill, I have to put up with them. But I would rather not have anything to do with them. If I had my way, I wouldn't have anything to do with them at all. Not a bit. So, I don't know. I did actually look on the internet, and it's in a PDF file. If you do Lindsay Clancy court case, then you can find a PDF file of her civil suit against all of these medical providers. And I heard on YouTube that it was as many as 7 medical providers, but I didn't count the number of defendants. It was a long list of defendants like that. So I think every medical establishment that she had contact with is in this civil suit. I personally don't want to have anything to do with any mental health professionals. And I personally don't feel safe around mental health workers because I know how they treated me. And that Lindsay Clancy, she went out shopping for mental health workers. I don't think she's going to want any more mental health workers anymore after what's happened. So that's just what I have to say about Lindsay's drinking. You have to ask yourself the question, did her drinking trigger or exacerbate her mental health problems? Because you're not supposed to drink when you have mental health medication, and she was drinking with that mental health medication. And even though I don't feel safe around mental health workers, if I was a defendant, I definitely would be saying that she was drinking while she was taking this mental health drugs. She wasn't taking the mental health drugs the way that they were supposed to be taken. And she was going out doctor shopping, getting drugs from other establishments as well. That's certainly something that I would put in my defense, even though I don't want to have anything to do with any mental health workers. And I don't feel safe around mental health workers. So my alarm clock has gone off, so I think it's time for me to close this video. I just wanted to make a video about my thoughts about, did Lindsay Clancy's drinking trigger or exacerbate her mental health crisis, even though there was no alcohol in her blood when they did a tox screen on her after her psychotic break. So thank you so much for watching my video. If you like my video, please like and subscribe. I will be making some more videos very soon.